Playoffs? Jim Mora lives on, but we have bets to win. Playoff bets, they're coming. There are plenty of units on the line this week. I feel really good, although I feel like this should be a hard week, and it seems pretty straightforward. Probably because I've been preaching certain things all year long, waiting to fade certain teams in the playoffs. The time is here. We're up 25.2 units in 2023 so far, which is great. Off to a blistering start. Finished 2022 up over 100, I think 109 point something. Good stuff. We're on a heater. By the way, if you're on the college basketball bets, unranked teams at home favored against ranked teams has been crushing. There's more on Saturday if you catch this video when it comes out. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get the noties when there's new videos. You don't want to miss the picks at MikeMush Sports. You get more picks there. Twitter and Instagram, there's all kinds of stuff. Let's get into the games. Giants plus 7.5 is the first one that I like. I have been waiting to fade the Eagles in the playoffs. I've been saying it all year. They had a cupcake schedule. They've gotten injured late in the year. Hurts is hurt. Lane Johnson is hurting. Giants are peaking at the right time. Better coaching. They're feeling good about themselves. Daniel Jones is playing as best as he ever has. Barkley looked pretty good on that touchdown run, forcing his way in. His legs look strong. Yeah, they don't have a lot of receivers, but the Phillies secondary, not great. They're not good against the pass. And so Jones and Barkley will have their time cut out for them against this Philly front. Philly's strong in the trenches, no doubt. But I think the Giants might actually surprise you with how well they can throw in this game. And I just think divisional game, Philly being overrated over all year, and I'm getting 7.5. I feel like if this game were in New York, I would take Giants money line. And I'm tempted to even take Giants money line here. I mean, if you're taking the dog, you got to think they have at least a chance to win. I do think they have a chance to win. But getting over a touchdown on the regular line, that feels really silly to me. It should have been a 6.5 point spread, and even then I would like the Giants. At 7.5, I'm putting 3 units on that. I feel really good about it. I wouldn't mind putting more. I'm not even messing around with a lot of same-game parlays this week. I like a lot of the straight bets. There's a couple props I'll throw in at the end, but 3 units straight. Giants plus 7.5. It feels really good. It just feels like this is the kind of game that comes down to it at the end. If Hurts has even a somewhat mediocre game, his throwing shoulder is injured. He had 1 week off. Is it miraculously going to be 100%? I don't know. The best way to beat the Giants is probably to just run at the edges around them because they're so tough in the middle. Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, they're really, really tough up front. So if you can get to the edge, like they did in that previous game they played against each other, Philly ran all over them wide, getting to the sideline and running. Is Hurts going to be able to do that? I don't totally know. And so if I'm not convinced, then I'm going to take the Giants. I haven't seen the Eagles play well in over a month, and they haven't had a lot to play for. They've been playing with a backup quarterback, but they are banged up. Last time these two teams played, the Giants secondary was decimated and A.J. Brown killed them. I don't think that's going to happen again. And so I feel really super comfortable, too comfortable taking the Giants plus 7.5. Plus, I just think Daboll makes them compete. I really do. I don't see how, I mean, it could miss, of course. The Eagles are on paper really talented and widespread across the roster with talent. But I think this Giants team they're hungry. They're hungrier. And I just haven't seen the Eagles impress me in a while against a good team. I really haven't. So give me Giants plus 7.5, 3 units. Next, we're on to the next team that I've been waiting to fade, the Mike McCarthy Cowboys. We took them last week. It scared the crap out of me to go against Brady, but I knew that Tampa team was so horrible, didn't deserve to be in the playoffs at all. And how many different videos have I made where I take the Cowboys and go, I just hope Mike McCarthy doesn't screw me. And they've done pretty well in the regular season. But this spread, when it came out, it was 4.5. I hammered it immediately. I put it on social media, so I have it at 4.5. Now it's down to 3.5. You're getting it at 3 in some places. I would hold out to see if you can get it at 3 or an alternate line. I have a lot of different bets on the Niners this week. So mix and match it however you want. Currently, you can get this Niners money line at minus 200. I saw it at minus 175 when it bumped down to 3. I took that too. So I have 2 units on the Niners money line at minus 200. I have 2 units on Niners minus 3 on an alternate line. 3.5 is fine, but I think the alternate line is better if you can get it down to 2.5. Just lay the odds just in case. But I think this San Francisco team is so much better than Dallas. Dallas is not going on the road against this defense and performing that well. Dak played really well against a really bad team. I just don't see it. I honestly think the Niners offense is better than the Dallas offense. They are stacked with weapons. Christian McCaffrey has changed this team, and Eli Mitchell is back. Debo, Ayuk, Kittle is playing well. Everyone wants Purdy to turn back into a pumpkin. I don't even want him to throw. Throw 15 times, and we're going to cover with the Niners. This team can score 40 points offensively and has the best defense remaining in the playoffs. I don't understand why Dallas is a real threat here. I don't understand why the spread is the way it is. I had this spread pegged at 6.5, and even then I would take the Niners. And to be honest with you, I'm not putting it in my picks right now on this video, but if you can get Niners on an alternate spread of 6.5 and get plus 150 or something like that, I'd take that. I really think they have not a huge issue stopping this Dallas. Dallas doesn't have a lot of weapons. They have Pollard. I mean, Zeke has been a shell of himself unless he's on the 1 yard line. They have one receiver who's good. Dalton Schultz, am I supposed to be afraid of him? Is CeeDee Lamb really going to break this game? I don't think so. So Dak can do whatever he wants, but I don't think Noah Brown is the problem. And so their offensive line is good, but no one stands up to this Niners defense. I think Shanahan is 10 times the coach that McCarthy is, and I think this has Dallas blow up written all over it. And by the way, their kicker missed 4 extra points. Is he just going to come in on the road the next week and be totally fine? We're not factoring that into the spread at all. If he misses a field goal, that's the game. If he misses an extra point, we probably cover the 3.5 instead of the 3. And so it almost feels too easy, but I see a lot of people on Dallas. I'm not understanding what you were impressed by. They beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is horrible. I don't care if they have Tom Brady. They're really bad. And yes, I'm wearing a Care Bears shirt right now. Not a Cowboys shirt. I would never do that. Care Boys? Care Bears, thank you for dreaming. This is what I say to the people who bet on the Cowboys. Thank you for dreaming and pumping that line down for me to take the Niners. I'm crushing the Niners. 2 units on the spread, 2 units on the money line, and we're also putting 4 units on Niners money line parlayed with Chiefs money line at minus 115. Those odds will vary depending on where the spread is when you get it, but that feels like really good value. So overall, we have at least 6 units on the Niners. I feel good about the Chiefs, but I don't want to lay that huge spread against this weird Jaguars team. We'll get to the Chiefs in a second, but this Niners game, Debo can break one. McCaffrey can break one. Ayuk is really, really good. Kittle, Jennings over the middle. Eli Mitchell I really like as a second back. I mean, I guess there's one position where Dallas is better than the Niners. That's it. That's kind of what we've been saying every single game the Niners play, and then all of a sudden they only allow 0 points in the second half, and they score 21 themselves, and you're like, oh yeah, they won by 17. It felt closer than that, but it wasn't. That's how every Niners game goes. And that's how I anticipate this one going. I don't see Dallas going across the pond. There's probably a lake in between Dallas and San Francisco. I don't see them going there and taking care of business. This is the Cowboys we're talking about. They're so snake-bitten when it comes to kickers, and now they have a kicker that missed 4 extra points, and we're supposed to believe that they're just going to be fine, and the spread should have gone in Dallas's direction? When it opened at 4.5, I was shocked. When it went down to 3.5, I was shocked. When it went down to 3, I crushed it. I still want to crush it at 3.5. I keep looking at it. I'm like, I could put more on that. So for now, 2 units on Niners minus 3, 2 units on Niners money line, 4 units on Niners plus Chiefs money line. Check the Instagram and the Twitter at MikeMush Sports to see if we do more. The only thing with the Niners about doing props and stuff and same game parlays is you just don't know where the ball is going to go. I like McCaffrey for sure, but they can spread it out so much because all their weapons are good, and Purdy is kind of an equal opportunist. He will take what is given to him, which he should do. So as long as he doesn't completely blow the game, and I think it's on Shanahan to let him not blow the game by not doing too much, I think the Niners are as safe as can possibly be. Lots of action on that game. Let's stick with the Chiefs since we mentioned them. I do like them only because, first of all, they've blown a lot of games as big favorites in the playoffs. Not a ton with Mahomes, but there's been a couple. And last year against the Bengals. And so I don't want to lay a ton of points against a Jaguars team that I think is confident, pretty well coached. Lawrence sparked something in that second half. No, the Chiefs are not the same as the Chargers, but I do like Lawrence, and I think that spread is a little too big, not enough to take the Jaguars, because Andy Reid off a bye is pretty legendary, and Mahomes in this divisional round coming off a bye has really unbelievable stats, playoffs in general. I just don't want to bet against the Chiefs at all. I would be blown away if they lost this game. I think there's a world where it's close late and then they pull away to 7 and then it ends up fine. Maybe it even ends at 14 or something like that on something fluky, or 10. But I don't feel super comfortable with the big spread. The money line, though, parlayed with the Niners is really good. And I'm actually going to toss in 2 units on both teams to score in the fourth quarter of that KC game. I imagine KC is going to score in every quarter, and Jacksonville's going to be playing from behind, and they're probably going to try to make a game out of it late. Important to get Lawrence going, even if he starts terrible, which he did before. Second half, they're gonna do everything they can to let him learn what it's like to play this playoff game on the road against an unbelievable team. So even if it's garbage time score, they really should score. That is minus 250 currently. I have 2 units on it. You could up that to as many units as you like. I really think that one is pretty safe. I think the odds should be a little bit better. I looked at the over-under for the fourth quarter. It's set at 14.5 as I record this. I really wanted it at 13.5. If it gets down there, I'll probably take that. But I like both teams to score at minus 250, so I'm putting some units on that one. And then I'm also taking Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. That feels safe. Mahomes will spread it around, but there are these games when they really matter. There are drives when it really matters that Kelce will rip off 4 catches right there. And I think even if Kelce has 2 catches in the first half, you're going to end up being safe when we get down to it, even if this game is close. Now, the downside is if they blow out the Jaguars, maybe that one doesn't hit. But I like Kelce over 6.5 receptions. I would pretty much take that to the bank in every single playoff game they play, and I might continue to do that. So I really like Kansas City as well. One thing to look at before we get to the last game, QB rushing props have historically been pretty good to me in the playoffs, especially Mahomes. Although I think they're catching up to those numbers. They're set at like 25 now for his rushing over-under, which I don't really like. And Daniel Jones you can't really get. Hurts you can't really get because they generally run. You might be able to get Purdy at a low number or Burrow at a low number. These quarterbacks generally will take off a little more with a little more reckless abandon on big plays, especially third down if they're taking away the deep stuff. It's just a trend. I don't have any picks for it this week, but I've been looking at it, and if you catch a low line, it might be worth doing. Just keep an eye on that one. Last game is Bengals-Bills. I don't know what to do with this game, but I do know there should be scoring, and I got the over at 48.5. I think it's sitting at 49.5 where it sits currently. I like it better at 48.5. Use your best judgment there. But this is a fun game to just stack it up, right? This is another one where you could check the fourth quarter total. I think that one will hit. I think Josh Allen has struggled a little bit, but it's been a little overblown because I watched him in that Patriots game, who have a really good defense, and he uncorked 3 literally perfect 50-yard dimes. One of them Gabriel Davis dropped. He won a fantasy championship for me, so congratulations. Here's the trophy. Boom. Thank you, Josh. And I think he'll probably be fine, and Burrow, it might be playing the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and I just think these guys are going to score on each other. Their defenses are pretty solid, but 48.5 doesn't feel like an unattainable number. This should be in the 50s, and I would rather take that than take any of the other bets in this game. Both these teams spread the ball out too much. Maybe you can get a Diggs touchdown, but they've been killing us on those lines all year. They're barely ever above plus 100. So I'm putting 2 units on the over, and that's one to just enjoy it. They're going to score. There's going to be a quarter where it's 14-14, and we're going to feel fine about the rest of the game. So I feel pretty good about that. And that's pretty much my whole line. Not a lot of same-game parlays this week. These teams are really good, and I feel like I have a pretty good hold on who I want to fade and what I want to fade. So we got a lot of units on the line. We're up 25.2 units on the year. We've been going pretty well. Check out the college basketball stuff. I'm telling you, more stuff tomorrow on a Saturday. But these are the football picks. There could be more coming at MikeMush Sports on the Twitter and Instagram. Always get on there. Subscribe, like, do the things. Tell your mom, tell your friends, pet your dog. And I would say put on your favorite jersey to watch the game, but as I get older, I'm not a huge jersey guy anymore. Unless it's a really weird one that makes you go, oh, cool. I just, if I'm at the game, I guess. I'll rock a Joe Namath Jets because they have no other good players, but I've never seen them in a playoff game in a million years, so what's the point of talking about that? Go Niners, go Giants, go Chiefs, go score in the Bengals-Bills game, and we'll end up happy. We'll try to crack above 30 this week. I'm sure there'll be more stuff coming. We'll see you then. Peace out. Good luck.